Hello, everyone, and welcome to CSR Main. Today we've got our first restream of the Zelda Randomizer 2023 Standard Tournament here. We've got ourselves VixRyder versus Chadbert. I'm sorry, and with me is Mariah. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. Tonight, technically the opening day on the big restreaming channel, but we did do opening day last night at a local bar down the street. So excited for this one. Excited for every Z2R race, really. So here we are. I'm excited.
Yeah, should be a good match. This is actually a rematch from the um, Upstarts tournament we had earlier this year of the grand finals for that match. Vix did go 2-0 in those finals, so I think Chadbert would really like some revenge.
Yeah, that was Chadbert was top seed, and Vix I think was the third seed in the Upstarts tournament, and yeah, this is. I mean, just out of sheer luck on the Ganon slot machine that Alan uses to pair people up, these two happened to meet up here in week one of Swiss in the standard tournament.
Yep. So it should be a really fun matchup here to open up the tournament here. Let's talk about what flags I've got this year.
Well, they're standard, and what kind of makes them standard is essentially we just start with a blank slate, no spells, no items. Oh, I guess we do have an item here in Swiss. We are giving the runners a candle to start off. That goes away in brackets, though. 4 hearts to start. That's your standard kind of vanilla-ish starting setup as well. Of course, randomized overworld, so that's completely not vanilla. Shuffled items, all of that's all over the place in palaces, outside of palaces, between continents, things of that nature. There's one small change between brackets and Swiss, though, beyond the flag, but beyond the candle disappearing in brackets, is that when it comes to Three-Eyed Rock and the forest tile on the east, if we see them, it's going to be random whether we see them or not, but if we do see them here in the Swiss rounds, it is going to be any location from the east underneath them, whereas in brackets, it will be guaranteed to be a palace and or a town.
Yeah. And yeah, welcome in to everyone in chat. If you have questions, I'm sure it's been a little while since I last did a CTR race stream. So if you have questions, please ask. There's going to be people willing to answer as we get going, because this is a bit of a trippy random to watch. The map random makes for some interesting stuff as we start. That's an islands biome. Start is straight west of start. We're up on the northern edge of the map.
Yeah, this is interesting. I wonder if we got Bagu right here in these woods, perhaps? Maybe not. We're not going to do a comb through these woods just now.
Yeah, but unfortunately that was the back end of Saria. It looks like that was Life Spell there, and time to head south. It looks like we're up in the north middle part of the map, because there's an island to the west and an island to the east. No hint here. Yeah, as you can immediately tell, for those who are new to Rando, we've got no idea where they're going, they've got no idea where they're going. It's map Rando.
Yeah, big thing of this rando is that part of it is figuring out the biome you're in and how to navigate it and the best way to route it all in real time. Makes it a lot of fun, though.
Yeah. So there are different themes to the map rando that we call biomes. So for example, this one is islands, clearly named because, well, there's a lot of water and with islands on it, as you find Rudo pretty straight south of start with jump in it.
Yeah, looks like we're going to go in for the hints in the town here. There are 3 hints possible. Oh, we're going to skip it on Vix's side there. I don't think he likes going inside other people's houses. We're going to talk to the woman, though, for the hint for the trophy.
Go west? Okay, great. Well, we're going to find out at some point eventually. We'll be quick to turn in, though, since this is just straight south of start.
Yeah, Chadbert could be going in the houses here and checking. There you go. There's a hint. Okay.
Reba rides with a raft. That is a hint for P3. That could be useful.
I was wondering if we were going to see something where it might come in play where Vix
we might have
skips it.
seen a raft on the northern coast earlier, but honestly, with all the islands, I'm not sure if it was a bridge or a raft.
All right, so we got to go through this vanilla encounter here, although not vanilla generators in there.
Okay, so Divergent's here. Vix is heading south from Rudo. Chadbert is heading west.
Interesting. I didn't know we had any space over here, but we may.
This is a very tall islands biome north-south. As you find our first item cave here for Vix is our trophy cave. We have a vanilla trophy today. Would be kind of nice. I think that might be the southwest corner for Chadbert, but it's really hard to tell with island biomes. One of the challenges with this kind of biome is there's really no frame of reference. It's very hard to get a frame of reference for where you are relative to the rest of the map. Because it's really easy to miss sometimes. An island that's just off on the edge of the map that's not visible from another island, particularly if you don't have boots to walk on water, or if you try to stick to the edges and then miss something in the middle, that happens too. P-bag, just a 50-point P-bag for Vix in Trophy Cave does not help the seed. Thanks.
Yeah, anyone new to this, watching now or in the future, we do refer to the caves as the items that they would have given us in vanilla, not what they technically give us in the rando, because everything is shuffled. Just helps to have a label for the caves when you walk into them, so you can at least describe them and talk about where everyone's at.
Vix took the Pastor Cave just south of Trophy Cave here, which Chadbert's now in to get that P-bag, and seems to be down in the southeast corner approximately.
Yeah, he's in Heart Container Cave now.
And is now, in Heart Container Cave, as there's that 50-point P-bag for Chadbert. Nice one up in the drop pool, not too bad, especially because they're walking everywhere right now. No boots in sight, because that's a Heart Container.
Heart Container in Heart Container Cave, all right. Again, not to be confused with what I just talked about a moment ago about how it doesn't have to be the vanilla item in there at all, just happened to shuffle that way.
Yep, and we call them by their vanilla location just because, for the western item caves, the eastern item caves are different. Because it's hard to distinguish between them otherwise. This is P3 or 6 here for Chadbert. Here's Mito on the eastern coast with Reflect in it. We'll need that hint.
100 experience from the red iron knuckle statues in 3/6. And I guess that would be 4 as well.
Yeah. We do know that this, for telling the palaces apart, color is not reliable as we have palette shuffle on. I have no idea what the vanilla palace colors are, to be honest, except for GP. But you look at them by telling the entrances. So we know this 3 or 6 by the pillars. P6 has our medicine for Reflect today. And for P3 or 6, you also have to look at the windows inside, or find the boss, one or the other.
Yo, or in this case, when we have
and
all
P4
the information...
is right next to me.
When we know the items in the palaces as well, we can now identify them with P6 being medicine, P3 being raft.
Yep. Okay, we're a little further west than I thought. There is an island to the east of this island with Nito and P4 on it. Very large islands biome today. I'm a bit lost, as usual. And P3 or 6 down on the south middle there.
Boots.
That's
Islands
a good
made
find
easy.
for Vix. That is a very good find for Vix because it lets you do that. Walk on water, which makes this islands biome much, much easier as we find. This is going to be where we're here in approximately the northeastern part of the map with Fairy in it. Nice, that's a good early find.
Wow. Yeah, this is opened up right here. We'll have to see what the eastern biome is. If it's also islands, then this is going to be made very, very easy with these boots.
Even a canyon would be appreciated.
Yeah.
For a river canyon, that is. Dried canyon, you don't need boots.
Also give a call out, Chadbert rocking the Simon Belmont sprite there. Different than Link.
Hammer required for Chadbert. A bit of divergence here from the runners. Vix went in a more easterly direction, Chadbert went in a more westerly direction, and it turns out that, just by pure luck, Vix found the boots and Chadbert didn't. Another item key for both runners. This will be our... one of them should find a trophy, the other will be the other item on the list. This will be our final 2 item checks.
Yeah, and then hopefully Chadbert heads southeast-ish and gets those boots ASAP.
Has to. I don't think he's got much of anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
Because the island he's on here in the southwest corner doesn't have a bridge going north. There's another heart for Vix, so that's going to be trophy here for Chadbert. He can go detour for jump spell if he wants on his way back, on his way east.
That's true. It is a nice pickup, although with, Fairy and Jump both going to get him down stab out of Mito.
Yeah, but he's going to find he's gonna find. Okay, so that wasn't crazy. That was a raft tile here on the northern coast. A little just a bit just east of Start. And there's the that should have been a trophy if I was not paying attention.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Yeah, Star hasn't gone crazy. Wahoo. Yeah, this is our starting palace there. I remember because I saw, I was like, is that. I thought I vaguely recalled seeing the raft. I wasn't sure, but yeah, this is the starting area. And Chadbert's okay, back to Star, upgrade back to Star is gonna head south. He will pass Route on his way to the east, to the eastern side of the map here.
P-Bag's not too big today, at least not yet. Keeping experience under control.
I mean, the map looks randomized. Yes, the map is very randomized. All major landmarks remain on the same continent to a degree. Like all towns are still on their respective continent. The item caves still stay on the same continents. There will always be 3 palaces on the west, 3 palaces on the east, and 1 in Maze Island. But which one is which is completely shuffled in these flags. That can be changed depending on what flags you pick. And then, of course, overall terrain. We also have custom the palace layouts are also randomized. We've got community rooms as well as regular rooms that are all shuffled around. Now, there is a limit to the number of rooms you can have in each palace, plus or minus a certain percent from the vanilla number. But it will always be the same boss in each of the palaces. And then the major items are shuffled amongst each other, so, everything on the tracker, basically, as well as the 2 P-Bag caves in the east are also shuffled, for instance. And here's P1 as our final palace on the west. I missed where this is.
Do we have both 3 and 6? What is the other palace?
P4 is the other one.
Okay.
P1, a very dark olive green here. I don't mind this too much. Much better than some of the eye-searingly bright palettes we get sometimes from this rando.
Yeah.
Kimir boots are somewhere over on the eastern coast, approximately. Vix went east and Chadbert went west is basically how to sum up their early routing.
Yeah, Chadbert can be headed in that direction now, though.
Well, he's heading north right now, because he's taking a passer cave going north.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think that's the back of Ferry. It is the back of Ferry, I'm sorry, it is the back of Ferry, and that's going to spit him out by the raft tile.
The raft tile, yeah. Okay, so changing his mind, he's going to go find... that's where P4 was. Kind of just... Well, yeah, okay. Kind of vaguely southeast-ish, so this is Reflect for... He's going to get a hint for Reflect. Yeah, boots are on Stonehenge, the grass tile, which is somewhere over on the eastern side of the map. Where exactly, I'm not sure. I was talking about islands that are kind of just sitting on the edge of the map. That little one on the Vix's screen for a second there is an example. Sometimes it's just easy to miss those things. But they've both been pretty thorough exploring this map.
Yeah, we got a glove block in P1 there. That kicked Vix out of the palace.
It's good information.
We'll see if he just jumps on the raft now to see where it takes us. Oh, I'm sorry, he doesn't have the raft. My bad. So I'm going to assume, seeing as we
didn't... down in the southwest corner, and he hasn't quite gotten there yet.
The raft is just southeast of Start, but I think if it's our only way off, then our 3/6 has to be P3, because that's our raft and that's our way off this continent then. Unless we've got another cave somewhere that they have just yet not found.
We found all item caves. I've written down all 6 items on the west. So, we're locked out of 1. We could need to find the item out of 4, though. Although, actually, maybe not. No, you're right. We haven't seen another continental connector of any kind, so it's probably 3 on the. Yeah, it's 3 that has the raft, 6 has the medicine, so that would be 3 for them to get off this continent. I forgot we didn't actually physically have the raft. Whoops.
Yeah, the thing is that Vix doesn't have that information, so I wonder if he's going to keep looking around right now. If Chadbert finally gets those boots, I wonder if he will just jump into 3, although I think we're about to enter into 3 on Vix's side. Yep. Again, assuming it's 3, because if it's not, then there is definitely another way off of this continent.
Yeah, if it's not 3, then they miss an island somewhere on the map that's not obvious, which does happen sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes there's just something in the corner of these islands biomes.
And they just never quite get far enough. But nope, that is the raft confirmed here.
Chadbert jumping in here. Did he grab Fairy? He did not see Raru yet. He's not going to be able to get through this first room. Glove/Fairy block right here.
Yeah, Chadbert has not yet found his boots, and Fairy was past the boots, more or less, with the way this west is routed.
Yeah.
Chadbert should head east from here, basically, because this is in the middle of the southern coast, and he should get this stuff.
Yeah, I'm not 100%.
East and north.
Not 100% sure which cave exactly we went through on Vix's side here, unless it was just across his bridge.
Not quite sure either. Vix did pick up the raft, right?
Yes.
Okay, Tracker needs to mark it.
He also has a fairy spell.
Here's Stonehenge, that'll be boots for Chadbert. And Mito should be north of here, as long as he doesn't game over, because he needs to pay attention to that.
Yeah, that would be rough.
Yeah, okay, good, he hasn't got a one-up. That's pretty good, that's good timing for him. And there they are. He doesn't. You do have his face cam on the comms page. Definitely had a bit of reaction hit. What's a pretty near last location boots on this west, I think, for him. He's seen most of what he can get to quickly. Oh, there is a boulder block cave here. Huh.
I'm gonna say that this is jump.
Yeah, that looks like it.
Just because we hadn't seen where it splits us out before, so. Yeah, Vix covering the area that Chadbert had showed us earlier on. Chadbert now doing the boots walk on the water. He needs to find a Raru right here, get his fairy spell, and get back into 3. And then he'll be on par with where Vix is at.
Yeah, and there's the hammer for Vix, which is more or less parity for the two in terms of items. And there's Vix sailing to Death Mountain, also islands. Yay! And straight to Maze Island. Wow.
Okay. We've got some options with that hammer. Death Mountain's not the most terrible thing, especially with it being islands. You can just walk around and find the rock. Quick little check there.
Oh, there's Ferry for Chadbert, and there's the bridge to what I presume is probably the east. Oh, sorry, JLo. Gotcha. No worries. Then, you need, let's see, raft, hammer, fairy, and trophy for Vix. Let's see. Vix got a magic meter. They're out of the magic meter, magic jar. Wrong game, brain. From Maze Island. I also entirely missed which palace that is.
It was P5. Oh, I'm sorry, wait. You know what? Now I'm questioning whether I saw a jar come out of that statue or not.
I don't know. There's a flute, which is nice.
We saw a swing. Chad will have to let us know if that was 2 or 5. I'm questioning myself.
They didn't tell that palace was such a dark sapphire blue that I'm not actually sure that the contrast wasn't stellar. As more islands! That's back to DM. Great.
So Chadbert jumping into... Oh, he's going to jump into 1, and he's going to see that this is glove blocked soon. Okay.
And it looks like our southwest corner maybe here is our hammer cave. Or Vix. Jar confirmed for the dark blue palace, so that would be P2 then if...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What I had on my mind was that P5, we have a hint that Guma sits on the magic jar. And so when I was like 2 or 5, all of a sudden I thought magic jar, and I was like, wait, did I see a jar or did I not see a jar?
Gotcha. I actually missed that piece. I actually missed that hint myself.
It's the guy in the front of Saria. So yeah, Vic showed it to us once he was over there with the boots.
Gotcha. Yeah, chat commenting looks like 3 or 4 bar life restore, which is pretty nice. And there's that glove block for Chadbert, who is like, great, thanks, and turns around. He's gonna pick up his life spell here from Saria, speaking of, and there's that hint. And our item in Trophy Cave here for Vix is already key. That's a nice find.
Slight correction, Hammer Cave. You
What
got
did I
trophy.
say?
You said Trophy Cave.
Brand's in too many places. Thank you.
It is quite the trophy though.
Apologies, I've been commentating a whole bunch of things that aren't Z2R and not in English this past weekend, so Brain needs a bit of break. It's 8.5 odd hours of Z2 of ALTDPR and OTR French comms this weekend, so been a minute since I did Z2R comms. Apologies.
All right, well, we'll see if we going back for the key, even though we've got the magic key. That slipped his mind for a moment. He's like, wait a moment. I have the only key I need.
Yeah, just picked it up, as Chadbert's just making sure he absolutely 100% has seen every island on this list. And Vix is looking for his, well, there's Spec Rock. With Magic Jar in it, okay. But we're looking for the connector cave to the east, which is somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if we got a full picture of Maze Island, if there was a cave.
We did not see the eastern side of the map, I don't think.
Okay. So he may be looking in DM for a connection cave when it actually might just be sitting on Maze Island.
It might be. DM's fairly friendly in just the sense that it's an islands biome, and
okay.
This looks mountainous, but oh. And this GP. Now that looks good. That looks like a mountainous east.
Yeah.
That's not the friendliest layout of all time.
We do have a desert tile coming up here. As Chadbert picks up his raft, he's going to continue on.
Yeah, desert tile here in the northwest corner is another key bag. Not helpful game. Does get another level, but not the most useful.
It seems like attack 3, I don't know, isn't feeling the best, perhaps? Count how many hits it is on these
Yeah, this is... That took a minute on those enemies there for Chadbert, and here for Vix. Not doing much.
Yeah, 8 hits. It looks like 8 hits on a red iron knuckle, so that's kind of a lot at attack 3.
11 hits on the red Azelphus. Yeah, the attack 3 is not great. And Vix is just gonna get out of here. Is gonna go find another town. Our first town of the east is Old Kasudo, which has shield in it.
Chadbert about to take a second death here. He'll be down 2 lives. I don't know if it's worth just dipping out of here, or if he thinks he can make it to Rebo with 1 life here. We did see 1-ups in the drop pool. I don't know whether that was large or small enemies, though.
I was not paying attention.
Didn't seem too common, so I'm not really sure I'd rely on that to boost me up an extra life here.
Yeah, especially because he's dealing with this iron knuckle, which, as we said, requires quite a lot of hits to take down.
Yeah, best play there probably would have been to kill the head, the repeating head there, and then just take on the iron knuckle solo.
And there's Vix is nice to have the boots. DM was likely boots locked, though I wasn't paying that much attention. It would have been a nightmare to navigate without the things in any case. But we're here on the western side of the map, and having boots lets us cross that lake there to get around more easily. We were talking about nuances of biomes earlier. Islands is pretty self-explanatory. Islands connected by bridges or not, sometimes with water on a big body of water. Boots are helpful to get around. mountainous biome. It's really, really mountainous. There's pockets of lands that are spread throughout, linked by narrow mountain paths, and it's kind of a pain just because it's so slow to get anywhere. It's very linear a lot of the time with mountainous maps.
Yeah.
It's Passer Cave to who knows where, we don't need.
It's hard to see things
as well.
There's a rift
double. Yeah, it's hard to see things because there's mountains in the way, basically.
Yeah, we'll see if that river devil comes into play or not here.
Well, Vix did find that flute in Maze Island.
Oh, that's true. Oh, Chadbert, go left! Right off the bat, you're in the upper... He's in the northwest corner. He didn't check that cave sitting right there, which is Maze Island.
Yeah, that could be a problem here as he heads east.
I'm not even sure. Oh, we do know what palace. It's P2 on Maze Island. That's right.
Yep, because someone did confirm that we saw a magic jar drop from the statue there. But yeah, that's one of the things when you get dropped in the corner of a map, is you want to go check the things that are right there before you head off in some direction that's not that corner. As we've seen races before where people just forget to go just a few tiles over to one direction and, see the one thing they need. Here's Nukasuda, which has Fire Spell in it. That is linked to a random spell in these settings to make this spell a little more useful, because it's pretty useless in vanilla. And Chadbert's gonna be here for a minute. I can miss that item for Vix. Was that another magic char?
Yes.
Gonna get a heal here, which she kinda needs given the beeps. And okay, there's Maze Island for Chadbert.
Yeah, thankfully there's two ways to get to Maze Island here. Not checking the statue on the palace, though. Might be worth checking.
Chadbert is going to find this. This was the no, this was a magic meter. Though. The magic jar, not meter. Brain. Was it no flute? Okay, brain's just me being a scatterbrain today. Flute there for Chadbert. I forget where the unique key is on this map. Then, oops.
Any key is in Hammer Cave.
It looks like Vix tested to see if or there's a magic meter, and there's a magic shop. Right. Okay, brains are all over the place. Vix was testing to see if fire was linked to the spell there, and nope, it's linked to jump. So I can't get that spell tower yet. Brain's back on the right track, at least for the moment. Here's Chadbert confirming that is P2 with this dark blue color.
Yeah, even without the flute, the River Devil not required there, so we're on the bottom side of it.
Yep.
We do have yet to see possibly a three-eyed rock, though, so that's still possible that we come across that and it might have something of interest. But again, in these flags, there's so many locations that it could be. It's pretty unlikely that it's going to be something that you're really looking for.
Mm-hmm. And we are Glove and potentially Child from Go. It's a 50-50 as to whether or not we Child for Thunder, because T-Bird is hardcore in these settings. As there's another palace here, which is going to be P5 in this kind of dark green color. Kind of the middle of the east there.
Do a little grinding here off these 70-point iron knuckles. I don't know what 630 is. I don't know if that's attack 4 or not. I don't think it will be.
I don't think it is. No, I'm not sure what that is. Vic's heading back to start and is gonna go, presumably go explore more of the east, I think. Decided that the route he was on was detonating him. He's gonna go east from this cave now, because he went west and south originally. We do have the Valley of Death entrance right next to that connector cave there.
Chadbert looks to be letting this level ride to a magic level and not having the magic key. Yeah, he's kind of being very down in cost.
Yep. Here's sunken feedback key for Vix.
I actually didn't see if it brought Fairy down.
From Risen Feedback Cave. Yeah, I didn't either, as far as Fairy cost goes. And there's a glove. Alright, that is good for Vix, who might be in go mode, but we need to verify where Thunder is. And that requires finding our remaining 2 towns on the west, which are, they're not on the west, on the east, which are somewhere, probably on the eastern side of the map, but it could be somewhere in the middle too. Mountainous biomes are their own kind of challenge to navigate, as discussed earlier. Gonna head south here. West should lead him back towards the Valley of Death entrance. I feel like it's gonna run into one of our 2 missing towns somewhere around here, but it's always hard to tell. Reflect has been found. It is in Nido, and the medicine's in P6, which is gonna be in the Valley of Death. Checking my notes.
Yeah, so almost 30 minutes into this, we've got Vix just kind of digging the overworld, and Chadbert fighting brutally through these palaces with Attack 3, and Vix has so much more stuff done right now.
Yep, there's Naburu with spell, so we do need a child here.
Even without the magic key from Hammer Cave, which again is kind of a gamble to see what's in there, but it did end up being rewarding. Regardless, he does have a ton of magic containers, and he would have more Chadbert would have more fairy casts if he had those containers.
Unfortunately, the palace digs are just not paying off for Chadbert.
Yeah, we know the glove's not in here, unless he miraculously finds the child somewhere, but the child hint is going to be available for Vix anyway, so there's nothing that Vix can't find at this point by just continuing to clear the overworld.
Pretty much. Because Vix will be able to access the child wherever it is. It just depends on how long it takes him to find it once he knows which location it's at. We've seen both items out of Maze Island, we've seen both items out of Death Fountain, we've seen all of our items out of the West. So it's either our water tile, spell tower, or in a palace.
Yeah, and right now we're not even guaranteed to have it be child, right?
And no, we've seen all the other towns in the West.
Okay.
It's confirmed at this point, because Vix just saw it with spell tower and Buru.
Oh, okay, that's where he was. He's focused on this P2.
No worries.
I mean, what Chadbert needs right now is he needs to find Helmet Head, and he needs to get that level off that gem. The 1040 is going to be Magic 5, I believe, 11 something for Attack 4 still.
Guma does not sit on the child. I believe we saw a hint at some point that there's a magic jar on that Guma sits on a magic jar. So it's not P5. We know P6 is the medicine, P3 is the raft, and what on earth are my notes? I don't think we know the end of P2 yet, or P1. But I think palaces 1, 2, and 4 are outstanding for items.
Yeah, amazingly enough, we know half the palace items just off of hints here.
Which is pretty nice. Chadbert is in one of our palaces without a known item, so this could be the child, but Vix will also know that himself. And, well, okay, just a swamp. Yeah. And actually, no, that's Lord Health throwing me off the overworld spray there, but that is Lord Health with the heart container. So that's our final overworld east item. Now we just have Spell Tower left on the east, which Vix might wind his way back over to, but this map's a bit of a mess.
He's got quite the hike to go back. He's got to go through these 2 Darunia we call these the Desert Darunia encounters because these are the encounters that are outside of Darunia in vanilla. At least that's what I refer to them as.
I don't honestly remember them as being a distinct type of encounter, so... And yeah, comment in chat, there is a good thing to note for when to decide if to dig palaces, is that you are logically required to have either the Any key or the fairy spell to be able to go into palaces. Because the game does not consider key drops from enemies or just in palace rooms to be in logic. So technically this is all out of logic for Chadbert, because well, he has fairies, but it is expensive, so you need to know. His fairy is expensive to cast much of the time, The cross is not what he wants. Womp womp. Very expensive often for until you get to the later magic level. So it's often better to wait until you have the key, and also it is not uncommon for palaces to be glove blocked. We do have the flag set so that blocking rooms can appear in any palace, so you can have glove blocks in any palace, even though not all palaces are glove blocked in vanilla. And oftentimes it can be a risk to go in and then find out, oh, I'm glove locked. I guess I'll have to come back here.
Like
Which
a
on
Renaissance
one hand
P1.
can be good information, but on the other hand, you might go in, discover it's glove locked, and then come back, 30 minutes later having forgotten everything you did except where you need a glove lock. Because sometimes the people because it can be hard to remember where you've gone over the course of a siege, which can typically be like an hour and a half generally. And some of you do the palace early, discover you're locked out, come back later, and then end up doing the same things over again because you forgot where you went the first time, which can be a bit of a time loss.
Yeah, I think Vix is going back to New Kasuto now. He's just lost which Kasuto is which, and it's going to be the one, I think, south of River Devil.
It's kind of vaguely southeast-ish. It should be that one right here. There we go. Oh no, that's the rune. Never mind. Okay. Didn't find this the first trip, or if he did, I apparently just completely spazzed it.
No, I don't think so, because he's going in for the hint for the child now.
Right.
And some upstab action.
Yep. Always nice to pick up. It's never guaranteed that you need downstab or upstab, but there are a few. But downstab can be required in varying rooms here and there, and upstab can be required in GP specifically. There are a few rooms that you can need it. You can skip one of the vanilla upstab block room, but there is a community room where you cannot upstab skip. As Chadbert finds a glove block here in 2.
Yeah, I didn't realize that fairy is still 64 to cast at Magic 4.
Karak disappears with a child. Whiff. Alright, we're going to have to go do P4 for that.
Well, if 4 is on the west, I would probably just head back. He's got 1. He can get through the glove block now. 4 being on the west, having reflect, I assume. Or no, we need 6. 6, I'm sorry. 6 in Death Valley. He's on the right path. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, need the medicine from P6 to go get the reflect to go do P4 to beat Karak, and also to get the child. The child isn't. We did have it set in these flags so that the boss rooms do exit is the end of the palace. You don't have more rooms behind the boss, which can happen in some flags. But you also just don't want to double dip P4. You don't have to. Oof, that death there for Vix. Straight into the lava.
This P2 is really costing Chadbert here. He's got a glove block. I don't know if he's seen the other side of that elevator room with the glove block in it yet. I'm not sure.
Got no real idea. P2 is one of the longer palaces, and it's P5's little brother, basically. And this one's being a real maze for poor Chadbert here. He's been in here for quite a bit. Trail's glove is in the east. Sunken P-Bag Cave, I want to say, as I think Chadbert's concluded he's glove locked out of it at P2.
Yes and yes. Yeah, so this dig is the little bit of dig into 3 cost a little bit of time for Chadbert, and the dig into 2 has really cost Chadbert just getting a cross out of there, but not seeing the boss. And still has not found the east.
We'll have to go back. Yeah, he still needs to find the eastern connector cave here in Death Mountain somewhere, as we're now in 6 for Vix.
Lucky for Vix, Chadbert's worst enemy is Death Mountain. Death Mountain trolled Chadbert at least one time very badly in the Upstarts tournament, if not more than once.
He has boots, at least, which this Island's Death Mountain would be an absolute nightmare without them. We've seen it before. It's really, really slow, but it's not fun. Oh, hey, Glover Fairy block here for Vix.
Yeah, I think the seed was... Oh, go ahead.
Glove jump or fairy, that is, for this particular room. It's
yeah.
a mess.
I was going to say, I think this seed was kind enough to force our runners to have the boots before entering into this biome here, though. They needed fairy to even get the raft, and I think fairy was boots blocked, if I'm not mistaken, on Raru.
Probably, I think it was. I also think it's about impossible to miss boots before getting to Raru without the map.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's gonna
his... Otherwise, Island's Death Mountains are absolute pains to navigate.
Yeah, you want to talk about not being able to see things. Geez, you're just taking caves and you're hoping you can... They spits you out somewhere useful.
Yeah, because in Islands West or in Islands East, you've got bridges that connect. Island's Death Mountain, have fun with Connector Cave Roulette, basically.
Yeah, there's some bridges, but it's just not as plentiful. The caves are much more required to traverse over the water into each island itself. So, yeah.
And then it's just pick one and hope you pick right, more or less. And you can be in there for a long time in Islands DMs without boots.
Chadbert about to get his magic key here. All the time he spent, all the time he spent getting, having to cast 64 MP fairy casts. Welcome to see that right now.
Oh yeah, he's not happy he got that just now, right after leaving a P2 he spent probably, 10 minutes in?
Yeah. A solid 8 minutes, I'd say.
But, yeah, it might have been 8, something like that. But he is gonna apparently check this cave he hasn't checked yet.
Oh, interesting.
He just got the Yeti key.
I thought he was in this cave. I could be
That's
wrong.
what I thought. This one's right by start, too. I don't know.
Guess not.
Apparently not, because there's heart for him.
Yeah, I thought this was next to Medicine Cave, but I guess not. It's hard to. It's hard enough to track islands when you're not playing. I mean, when you're playing, let alone not playing.
Yeah, it's actually there's just so much going on. Just in general, navigating in Z2R relies quite a bit on. I personally at least tend to rely quite a bit on landmarks. Now, where stuff is relative to the edges of the map or relative to other landmarks, such as towns, palaces, and so on. And it can be really hard to orientate yourself relative to the map when you're in an islands biome, or a mountainous biome, because the mountain ones can be pretty hard too.
Yeah.
By far the nicest biome is going to be the Dried Canyon biome, generally, because, well, there's two kinds of canyon biomes, as that's a dead end for Vix. The one kind is a river canyon. It has a river running down the middle, with bridges connecting the two coasts, often boots locked. Usually fairly linear, and it's generally not too hard to find landmarks just because the coasts are pretty narrow. There's just not that much land to walk on. Dried canyons are the variant of the canyon biome where the river is dried up, and it's really easy to get around because you can get literally anywhere.
Yeah, always nice to find those, but concerning because they're just so free.
Yeah. Because it's like you know your opponent also has the exact same really stupid free biome. Versus in a more fully seed like this, where Chadbert and Vix basically, the choice on the west for navigation was go west or go east. Vix went east, Chadbert went west. And it turned out your boots were to the east, so now Chadbert knows that there was a good chance Vix did what he did and got the boots a lot earlier.
Yeah, Chadbert finally, just shy of the 41-minute mark, finding the east here. Has a lot of area to cover, a lot of land to cover here to make up time to catch Vix, but Vix is off to the races here, has the medicine out of P6, just looking for a dragon, then he'll be back to the west to just simply finish the game.
Yep. And in the meantime, Chadbert has to explore basically this entire eastern mountainous biome, which is going to take him a minute.
Yeah, there's a bit of winding path here, so...
There are other kinds of biomes too. This one is not a great showcase of them because we got a pair of island biomes. We do have. We can also have a caldera slash volcano biome, which is where you have a big old where the map is effectively divided into 3 parts. On the west end on Death Mountain, it's a caldera where you've got a big lake in the middle. At least it's a volcano. There's no lake in the middle. It's just a big open area in the middle of the map that replaces the Valley of Death on the east. Has a lake in the middle on the west and DM. And that has connector caves on either side. That's either oriented north-south or east-west. You can get both variants. That lead to the rest of the map. So you've effectively got a 3-part map for caldera and volcano biomes. Not usually too terrible. It's a little bit linear, but like at the same time, like each side of the caldera will generally be pretty easy to get around. It's not too bad. And then there's vanilla-like biomes, which kind of emulate the vanilla maps of Z2, in that there's going to be a whole range of terrain types. You'll have narrow mountain passes connecting different areas. And the western vanilla-like maps will generally be divided kind of roughly into 2 parts north-south. Eastern vanilla maps will be divided approximately 3 ways north-south, as there's a clever Chadbert. He's definitely got opinions about that. Having going glove locked down to 2 palaces already.
Yeah.
He did find that faster than Vix did, so there is that going for him. Relative to when he got to the east, at least. Though he still has to find his Darunia to get his hint that he needs to go to P4, and then he'll be off to get things going himself, as we finally have our first jump place for Vix, 44 minutes in out of P6. That is P6 done for him. Probably going to up a turn of medicine, beat the palace in the west, and get Reflect.
Yeah, I think best case scenario for Chadbert right now is to stumble upon P5, stumble upon Darunia, get the hint for the child, and 4, go right into the volcano, skip everything else over here. You know, he's got to go. He can't be checking spell towers and things like that. He's got to just go. But
yeah,
he
put the
doesn't know
pedals
that.
in the metal, but he has to find the big thing is he's got to find Darunia.
Yeah, he's going to get spell here before he sees the spell tower, before he sees Nukasudo, so he'll probably check spell tower as well. We don't know what's in there, but at this point, it might be our last magic container. We know the cross is in 2.
Yeah, we've seen all hearts. We've seen it. I think we're missing 1 P bag and 1 magic jar between P1 and spell tower.
That's right, P5 is our last magic container.
No.
So it is just junk in spell tower.
Actually, yeah. No, I think I've written down 3 magic jars and I'm missing 1, but I might be wrong. My notes are a minor mess. Oh wait, no, yeah. Can't count.
I was gonna say.
So it's a junk item in spell tower and a junk item in P1.
Yeah, I was gonna say Vix has 7 and he hasn't gotten the item out of 5 yet, so.
Yeah, right. That was a good point.
Finally gonna see more of this 1. Also know that there's probably nothing in here either.
I mean, we've seen all the major items. There can't be anything in here. I'm struggling a little bit with too many sprites on screen there for Chadbert with all the projectiles. He's going to find his water tile here with, what was a heart container.
Yeah, the thing is, 5 is over here in the east, and honestly, GP is over here in the east as well, so you don't even need to do 5 right now. You can just save that for the last palace before you jump into GP, so there's really nothing to be gained on Chadbert's side from if he attempts a Guma right now. Hopefully he doesn't.
Yeah, because I would put it off, knowing that you don't have to do it, you're coming back here anyway, and that attack 4 Guma's not fun, usually. Attack 4 Forset is fine, more or less. There we go, for Vix, but Attack 4 Guma's not so fun. That's going to be gem number 2 for Vix here.
Yeah, at this point, Vix is going to be cruising.
He's in drop gems and get going mode.
From here, we're going to Mito, getting Reflect, then P4, maybe P3 before P4, depending on where these are all located. I don't exactly remember where they're in relation to each other.
Me neither, but it doesn't particularly matter as long as he gets them all done here, which he will. Does he remember where they are relative to each other is another question.
Welcome to Islands.
Where am I going again? Is a common question. In general with Z2R, but especially with Islands where it's very hard to find points of reference sometimes.
Mapping is absolutely part of the game here. It has caught people...
because otherwise you can end up doing things like this, where you're like, wait, where was that again? But here's P3.
Yeah, we didn't see too far into P3 beyond the item room. Chadbert was unable to make too much progress beyond that point, so no idea where Rebo is, but P3 is not that big of a palace, so probably not that big of a deal.
Yeah, generally P3 and P1 are some of the smallest ones.
Yeah, it looks like from 3 to 4, attack 3 to 4, it cut the hits on those red iron knuckles in Palace 3, 4, 6 down to 4 from 8. So notably better.
That's a substantial improvement, yeah. Alright, Chadbert's looping back to the Valley of Death entrance here. He needs to head south to reach the Runia, I think. At this point.
Yeah, if he goes in here, he's committing to 6 in the medicine, but without a child hint, he may have to just walk out of Death Valley up to this point, though. Right,
and that's gonna be kind of slow, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't honestly... I don't honestly know if it's faster to walk back out of Death Valley or to up A, because the raft is right next to... The raft is right next to Start on the West, as he decides to turn around.
Yeah.
Right next to Start on the West and to an Island DM, so you can walk to the Connector Cave to the east pretty quickly, which is right around here.
It's just that Darunia is just literally just south here, so it's not super close to... Just a little, there it is. Yeah, it was much closer to just get this hint beforehand and then go to 6.
Oh yeah, that's for sure, just commenting is there.
Chadbert puts his head back, realizing he's going to need the child for Thunder, wondering if he could just turn one of his own children really quick to this woman to get the spell. Probably not going to work, but...
Nah, I'm afraid not. It has been that kind of seed, unfortunately. It's just his routing has not been the one to do for this seed. There are seeds where digging palaces early works out. This is not one of them.
Yeah, this is definitely not one of them. It really
especially combined with the unfortunate early 50-50 between going east versus west for the boots on the west.
Yeah, I mean, not even that. It was just simply that everything you needed was in the overworld. I mean, the one thing you need. I mean, I guess you needed the medicine out of P6, which was fine. You would have gotten that hint anyway. But Darunia being child. Yeah, exactly. Just that chain, but everything else, glove, all the hearts, all the containers, magic key, everything else was in the overworld, and so it was just overworld seed.
He's got opinions about the child location there for Chadbert.
Even if you were comfortable with the low attack levels, low attack effectiveness, there were still glove blocks and palaces you couldn't get through regardless, so overworld...
Chadbert ran face first into a few of those.
Yeah.
I am not sure why he's in this pastor cave. Get out of here.
He needs to go back to 6. I don't think he knows if 5 is over here, though. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think he's found 5. I'm also not sure if 5 is, but that's a whole other thing. My notes have it as be somewhere on the eastern side of the map, so he's in the wrong part of the map for it. Yeah, unfortunately, Vix has a substantial lead. And that's a dead end. There are 2 variants of that room that Vix has just run into, and we saw that same room in another palace earlier. The vanilla room is a dead end. Someone was a meanie and decided to create a community room where that's actually a pass-through. The important difference on how to tell the pass-through variant from the dead-end variant is that the pass-through variant has 2 enemies standing on the steps. The dead-end variant does not. As you can see there for Vex, we just had a flying head in it.
I think it's west of here is P5. Could be.
Something. I'm not sure, honestly.
It wasn't too far into the east here that we saw P5, but then again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do the full clear here, unfortunately, on Chadbert's side. I mean, you gotta think, what else could you need at this point? He knows where the medicine is. He knows where the
sure
child
why
is.
he is doing item checks. Yeah, he just needs to find his P5 and get going.
Especially,
he's got the hints for medicine and child, yeah.
He doesn't have confirmation that what fire is yet, and I don't blame him because like nobody checked if jump was attached to fire. So he's gonna get fire, but it's just gonna be jump, unfortunately. From his perspective, it could still be like thunder or reflect, right? So,
which would save him time.
Exactly.
And there's the head shake.
Here's our item room in P4.
Which is that child as expected. And here's another glove block, glove of fairy. Going from this direction, it is not jump blocked at least, but you do need Glover Fairy for it from either direction. We are seeing the River Devil get moved for Chadbert. And P5 is to the east somewhere, I'm just not quite sure where specifically. Unfortunately, this mountainous biome is sending Chadbert in circles, rather literally.
Yeah. It happens, though.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't too far after we found New Kasuto on Vix's side that we saw P5. But he's going to dig into 5 here. See, this is, again, coming back to what I just was talking about, where GP is on the east here. Like, this isn't super close to where you... 5 isn't super close to where you land with the raft, but, I mean... This is going to be... even if it's a super close Guma, Vix is going to be better prepared for the Guma fight when he gets there, and there's no item that's going to change the flow of the game here for Chadbert, so...
I guess it's just to clear it while you're here, because P6 and GP are both right next to that Death Mountain connector. Or, well, P6, the entrance to the Valley of Death, is next to the Death Mountain cave. That is P3 down for Vix. So he's gonna go find Mito or wherever. No, he's already got that. He's gonna just sail east at this point. Rain's really coming everywhere. And he's gonna head over to Maze Island real quick to BP2. Which might take him a minute. Chadbert was in there for quite a while, trying to find the boss earlier, and he did eventually get glove locked out, but it took him a while to get there. So we'll see how Vix routes this.
So we're not... Wait. Oh. Wait, we just did 4. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the tracker.
Oh yeah, 4 is done. That was me being a scatterbrain, yeah. Oops, there we are.
Okay, yeah, so we're off of the west now. We're just onto Maze Island, P2, then off to P5, then off to GP.
Yep.
Easy game. By the numbers.
And I am honestly sorry that my commentary is just all over the place today. Not getting back into Z2R comms after probably like a month and something of no commentary for this game. Brain's not with it right now.
You're supposed to be practicing Z2R Seeds weekly, Star.
I've been running an OTR tournament for the past 2 months, but...
I'm hearing excuses and I want results.
Just ended last week, so just yesterday, so Apparently not full. Ah, thanks, JC. Well, I gotta get back in the swing of things sometime. But I'm surprised you have just randomly started commentating in French. There's one major problem with that, Tomarker, aside from the fact that French is my third language and I really default to it for much of anything, to be honest, is the fact that I don't really know how to commentate Z2R in French because, there's not exactly a lot of Francophone speakers in the community. I don't think Spud's in the tournament this year. I don't think Mooney is either. If I were to ever decide to commentate Z2R in French for whatever reason that an opportunity might come out for that, I'd have to go get a vocab list going first. And then have that vocab list on hand to go reference because, I don't have that memorized, as I don't really have much reason to have a vocab list memorized for Z2R. Sword I do remember. Like, some things I remember pretty easily. 8-bait is sword. Like, I learned candle was a relatively more recent thing. I learned from Mooney, which is bougie, B-O-U-G-I-E. Yes, and there's a very different definition of that word in English. Some of the things are easier than others. It really depends. Like, for example, explaining map random in French is something I'm gonna have to do some research on in terms of vocab to be able to do coherently. Because that's not easy. For those who don't know, I am trilingual. I grew up speaking English and Mandarin, and I've been speaking French for what's going on 12 years now, I think. Started studying in late 2011, I forget when exactly. And I do commentate in French for ALTDPR and OTR. I've never done so for Z2R in Puzzle Part because we don't really have that many French speakers around.
Yet.
Yeah.
I think Sigil, who just recently jumped in at the last minute, I think he runs with Spud and Goth with some Zelda 2 runs from time to time.
Actually, I know I've seen the name Sigil around the Z1R community, I just know absolutely nothing about them.
Well, Chadbert, not to take away from all that, Chadbert's still looking for Guma.
Yeah, P5 is being P5, alright, as Vix is about as lost in P2 as Chadbert was earlier. Happy 1 hour, everyone.
I'm gonna get our magic container here, P5.
Yeah.
There's that glove block from this side. Okay, so I don't know if the glove block was a thing necessarily in P2.
I've got no real idea at this point. Eco key would probably just be called quite literally that. DJ wrote it in French, mostly because it's not one of the things that's really necessary to translate. Eco would remain the same in any case, and key is clay in French. It's also one of those things that's pretty readily pronounceable in French. Eco key, Eco clay, maybe, but it's not super different. In any case, though, here, so hit the hour mark, please do give both of our runners a follow. Chadbert and VixRyder, Michael Kamarai, and our tracker, JLo. Professor Layton's right would be kind of fun zeroing. Would be a little out of character in some ways for him, but he is a master swordsman, so it wouldn't be totally ridiculous. Yeah, I have actually been streaming Z2, some Professor Layton on my personal stream, which that makes. And very, very fun puzzle game. A series of puzzle games that recently announced that they'll be releasing a new game in the series sometime next year, I think. But I don't think they have a release date yet. But that would be a fun sprite to add. And now you have me thinking about what items would be appropriate for Layton. What item sprite would be appropriate for Layton. Anyhow, kudos down for Chadbert, back on topic, as Vix is still exploring this P2. And that is going to finally be jump number 1 in 1 hour 2 minutes for Chadbert, as there is Helmet Head for Vix, who is really out sick here. Jeez, he had 4 bars of health? and goes down pretty quick.
Yeah, sometimes the tells can be a little misleading. We have a belief that it might be due to his helmets having being. I don't know. His health bar never really reflects exactly how much health he has. It's kind of what we're learning. Although he does tend to be quite injured more often than not.
All right, Chadbert needs to find his way back to the north here to get to P6. I'm not sure if it's faster to walk back or up A, because big connectors are pretty convenient. As you can see right here, DGP is just to the west, and here's P6 just to the south.
Okay, so you could get down here. Easy, yeah, easy.
Yeah, I think this is how Vix found P5, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, 62 minutes for first gem on Chadbert's side cannot feel good at all.
No, that does not feel good. Burning Gems 101 from the high school of Z2R. Do you want to explain what we mean by burning gems?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, so when you place the gem at the end of the palace, you wait for it to go to the top of the pedestal, and you get all of the experience remaining for that level that you currently are sitting at, whether you need 12 experience points, whether you need 4,000 or 9,000 experience points. You get all of them. You get a free level. And what you can do instead of waiting for all the fanfare and waiting for the experience to count up is to just up an A. Once you place the gem, before it reaches the top of the pedestal, just up an A. It immediately leaves your inventory, and you're done. Just get out of there. Save time. Burn the gem, so to speak.
Yep. Alright, we're gonna see P6 now from Chadbert as he heads to the Valley of Death, and Vix is heading back to P5, which is gonna take a minute, because, as we saw from Chadbert, it's not the most straightforward route to get there.
Yeah. Got a lot to do in 6, got a lot to do in 2. 1 wasn't bad, 3 wasn't bad. 4 seemed to be a little trolly for Vix as well. That didn't seem too terrible, but still. Chadbert's got a lot to do here, and Vix just has 5. But yeah, I mean, it almost seems like Chadbert might have last locationed Guma by the amount of time he spent in there, so it's possible. It's definitely possible.
Probably was, yeah.
Yeah, definitely possible to see him a little bit sooner. Yeah, I just want to say that if you want more Z2R here, unfortunately, there's a pretty ended up being kind of a lopsided race here. They're not always like this. But Chadbert, unfortunately, getting caught up in a few things, taking a few gambles that really hurt him early on. And Vix just, again, sticking to the overworld. But if you want to see more Z2R racing, it's going to be all week long on ZSR here, especially one more coming up tonight, a few hours after this one, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern.
Yep, about an hour, 25 minutes. It will be over on ZSR 2, as we'll be having some Majora's Mask random here on this channel, also at 10 p.m. Yeah, if I saw your message zeroing about the latent sprite, would be fun to have. Because shout out to the sprite creators in the community, we've got a whole bunch of additional ones. I think there's like 15 options in the drop-down menu, just in the randomizer program now, and you can add more separately as well. We've got all kinds of sprites. We've got things like Simon Belmont for Chadbert here, we've got like a Taco Link, we've got the Winter Solstice Link sprite, which is a hoodie. You can play with, like, there's a Crystal sprite, I know there's a Dragon Lord one. There's all sorts of sprites you can use.
You heard that right, folks. A Taco Link.
Yeah, it's Taco Link. And if you want to see a sprite of your own, go suggest it in the Discord, because we do have a channel for that to suggest ideas. We can't promise that someone will actually develop the sprite for you, but you can always propose the idea and see when someone will pick it up.
And, of course, understand the limitations of the Nintendo before you want something highly detailed.
Yeah, there is only so many colors you can have and only so many pixels to play with.
You get 3 colors. Good luck.
Yeah. You can do some fun things, like you can also change the item sprites to match the character sprites. Like, I know there's a Snakes on the Plane reference with the Naru sprite, I believe, if I remember correctly. Taco Link has some fun sprite changes too.
Wow, Chadbert almost getting caught by that Moa there.
Yeah, the FF1 sprites chain draft in the canoe, right? Yeah, that too, JLo. Yeah, there's all sorts.
Yeah, Chadbert's over here with the Simon Belmont sprite. Supposed to be repping the FFR community here, and he's repping Castlevania. We've got three. We have three FF Final Fantasy sprites. We got Fighter, White Mage, and Black Mage.
Yep.
All of which are great. All right, so Vix is just hoping to find Kuma sooner than later. Then he can get out of here and go to GP, and we'll see how tough GP is.
Yeah. Because Crystal sprite makes the Wrath of Dolphin. From what I remember, nice zeroing. I have never played the Crystallis in my life, so my knowledge of that game is approximately nil.
A game that also has a randomizer.
A lot of games have randomizers nowadays. Including almost every main series Zelda game that can be randomized. I believe main exceptions are the Four Swords games, Triforce Heroes don't think has one last I heard. Breath of the Wild doesn't have a true randomizer. I have the foggiest idea on Tears, but I don't think so, given how new it is. And then just about everything else has one. I'm not sure the current status. I know two of the ones that were the hardest to get randomized. And then some of the remakes. Like Skyward Sword for the Wii does not has a randomizer. Skyward Sword HD doesn't have one. Majora's Mask 3D doesn't have one either. Though Ocarina of Time 3D does have a randomizer separate from the Ocarina of Time N64. And there's an Ocarina of Time PC port with an inbuilt randomizer. The CDI games, I don't actually know if the CDI games have a randomizer. They might, actually. Here's just came out with a randomizer? Oh, who'd have thought? I haven't actually played that one yet, so I've been trying to avoid spoilers on that, and I still need to play Worth of the Wild before I do that, really. But I know some of the ones that had the most holdups, like even Link's Awakening Switch has one. I think there's like 3 or 4 different randomizers for Link's Awakening across the various versions. I know that I think the ones that had some of the biggest hangups for randomizing were Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. Something about copyright protection on those made them particularly difficult to randomize. But I know as of like a year or two ago, Phantom Hourglass Rando was in the works. I don't know what the status is on that. And then I presume Spirit Tracks will come after. I've rarely played Z2R, period. I mean, mostly it's not the thing for you guys. There's just too much else going on. I run tournaments for OTR. I commentate for LTTPR sometimes. I still do restreams for other things on CSR sometimes besides, and of course real life too. As we do find the item in 6 here finally for Chadbert, medicine. And Vix is pretty thoroughly lost here in P5 right now. As is Chadbert in P6. These two palaces showing why they are two of the longest palaces in the game. And it's going to take a while for both, it looks like, to find their respective boss. I don't remember where either is.
Yeah, Guma seems to be just hard left somewhere, I guess. Because he is just all over the place. Oh, well, nope. This is the item room, and it's to the right of here is the last time I remember seeing Chadbert routing in here, so... Unless this is a loop. I'm not 100% sure.
I long lost track of the palaces, to be honest, so no idea.
I think Guma might actually be right here. Nope.
Nope.
Oh, this is another loop. We've been through here already. Interesting. Alright, so Vix is going to go up and right, it seems.
Looks like it. Chadbert heading right into
Or
one
not.
of these open air rooms. Or not. Yeah, proving us wrong.
He's going to go back left, and that's the item room back there. He's just going to get that magic container.
No,
Or not.
No, or not. VixRyder just doing everything except for what you say to do, apparently.
I have no idea where he's headed. He's going back to this open air elevator room, I believe, then. Maybe he needs to take a right in there.
Maybe, Chadbert's also completely lost in P6. I haven't the slightest idea where Barbara is. I know Barbara was in an open air room, but that doesn't tell us anything about where.
I think it's right here. It was down an elevator, yeah.
Alright. We finally have both runners finding their respective bosses. After a good few minutes in the respective palaces for both. And that's a death for Chadbert. Vix is gonna do safe strats here for Guma. Or trying to, at least. Didn't quite get that. Because you can make Guma a little less annoying if you just kind of have him stand out at the right end of the screen, because past a certain point his base just despawns. You can see it a bit here from him. And that makes it a lot easier to fight him without getting hit, because this base hits hard. I like that. Barbara down for Chadbert.
74 minutes, second palace. That's a hell of a P6 and P5 to start off with there. So 62 to place the gem in P5, and then it's been 12 minutes to get the gem in P6, and P6 is not that far away from P5, so it was, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes to get into P6, and then another 10 to look around and find everything.
Back to the west for Chadbert. Gonna go do P1, P4 and get Reflect. And P3. And Vix should probably be done with the seed by the time Chadbert gets off the west again. Is there scuba down?
Yeah, that's possible. With 1, 3, and 4 to do over here. And we're just going to be walking into GP here in another 90 seconds, 2 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Burning gems. I do wonder if it's a little bit...
he's got, so he's gonna get out. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, just I wonder if it is a little bit faster to come back from start, because it's the raft tile and then immediately left when you land from the raft tile. And oh, I'm sorry, not the raft tile. Duh, it's a cave, so no, this is probably faster. Keep forgetting the raft does not go straight to the east.
I mean, it's the raft, and then you walk over to a connector cave, because it is an island's DM, and I don't quite remember where the connector cave to the east is on that island's DM. It's not that hard to get to, because it's island, but I don't remember where it is specifically. Because the raft tile is right next to start in the west.
Yeah, given these encounters, it might have been a little bit faster to actually go back to start, but...
I think it might have been, but it's close, I think.
Yeah, because it's like a free walk to the raft right to the cave on Maze Island. I'm sorry.
The cave on Death Mountain.
God. Yes, the cave on Death Mountain. What is happening?
I mean, the cave to Maze Island's also free, but you know.
Yes. Yeah, just walk free to the cave on DM to east. Good lord. Let's get in this GP.
Let's get in this GP, and then... we might both need a bit of brain reboot before we come the later race. Yes, we're here in T4 now for Chadbert with that Reflect spell. He already has Reflected Thunder, he needs to get still once he gets Child here. Alright, here's GP for Vix, the current up at 116.53. And this is kind of bright here, and with the bricks today. Immediate waffle room with a big bubble in it.
He could have gone low there.
Yeah, that would have been safer, I think, than letting the bubble out, but okay.
He did also not up an A when he walked in. Maybe he has an extra life or something like that I
was just
don't
about
remember.
to say that. I don't remember either.
That could also be why he didn't up an A and go back to start if he has an extra life and just wanted to keep that.
Makes sense, yeah. About half his life here, just under 4 hearts right now out of 8.
There's a potential fairy downstairs and to the left.
Immediate upstab block here, up and pretty much up from start, approximately.
Child for Chadbert here.
Vix trying to get this jump, which is being a little finicky for him. There we go. Still for just a couple bubbles in that enemy there, nothing too wacky. Flying heads here. No chickens in sight yet, but I'm sure we'll see them in a bit.
Not casting the life spell here, down to just over a heart container.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that. Then again, the enemy set has been very tame. There's our first chicken, as I say that.
Speak of the chicken.
And unfortunately, the life spell is a little too late there for him. And no extra lives. He just came in on that first life.
Wow.
Okay, then. 2 chickens. I curse that apparently when saying we haven't seen any chickens yet, because he just lost all of that health, most of that health bar in this room, as we see chicken number 3.
Oh, good.
Alright, this is a little easier to deal with.
I love this room.
This one's fun. Here's Karok for Chadbert. P4 was fairly quick for Vix as well, from what I remember. We've already seen a few forwards here in GP. There was a left. You could have gone left or taken the upstab block. There's this. I know there was a right option. It's a chicken. Again.
I guess he feels behind because he does not want to reset that that statue for the jar after losing a life and being so low on resources here.
Yeah, because he's down to just 2.5 bars of magic, and well, there goes another life. P4 down for Chadbert. 1 hour 20.
Yeah, that's part of the game here is that you take damage, it's instant, and when you refill life, it is a slow refill. So if you don't cast life ahead of time and you take more damage than you're about to fill up, you will hit, once you hit 0 health, you're dead. There's no, even if you're still refilling, you are dead, and it is, you're down to life at that point.
Yep.
Very block here.
Yeah, I wonder if it could be a change made to the randomizer to have life refill your health instantly, if that's an option in the code, or not, just as a little quality of life change.
Sounds like cheating. Cast life before getting hit, folks. Queue up your spells. Spell management, spellbook management, all that stuff. It's like, it's all part of like the strategy playing. Well, for me it is. I mean, there's something that could be added, absolutely, but yeah, it is. It's like queuing spells and whatnot, and knowing where you're at and identifying the room and being like, okay, well, if I'm gonna get hit, I need to have some extra life here. I should cast life now, or casting shield before you take a bunch of damage, like I'm bad at.
Or just don't get hit. Yeah, simple, TH.
There you go.
Alright, there are a lot of options here in this GP for Vix, and I'm thoroughly lost again.
Seemed like we had a little bit of a loop there, I think.
We might have. Everything looks kind of the same, though, for me, so... Even when I have played commentated Z2R more often than 2 months ago, my sense of direction still as much as it ever is. And that's good. He did end up deciding to up A here. I think he was down to his last, running out of lives and resources. Decides, you know what, I'm better off up Aing. That is P3 down for Chadbert, though, on his end.
Yeah, I think Vix actually was about to game over.
was thinking that.
We'll see if he takes a different path here. He's got like that one left at that first junction. We'll see if he takes that left. He's,
yeah, because the first junction has you go up into the upstairs block or take a left, and he might do that left here. Yep.
Yeah, he said in the past that he likes to just take the path of least resistance, regardless right or left. So he saw that tough stuff to the right eventually. I think there might have been another choice for him to make over there, but maybe not.
It was. I don't think he checked every fork on that route. No.
Well, he could.
Well, we've also seen like we've also seen at least 3 variants of this elevator room, so I've got no real idea. Because this looks familiar.
Yeah, it is. It loops right into this room here. So.
As I remember him getting a chicken out of that statue there a minute ago. Yeah, this is familiar.
Oh, he shouldn't up an A. He should have just went back right and up.
Yeah, because that would have gotten him out of this loop that we saw, because it's faster than going back to the upstairs block.
Yeah,
the upstairs block room is slow.
Exactly. It's if you go to the upstairs block room, you just end up in the room he just up and ate out of, so interesting.
He does go low on this big bubble at least, so that's helpful for minor time saves. Yeah, I don't know why he up there.
Actually, I want to say there are 2 lefts here. Let's see if he takes that. I think there's a second left that he hasn't tried that he wants to go back to the slightly quicker way, although I still don't think the up and A was faster, but I think there's a second left here coming out.
Gotcha. He does first have to get through this room, so it takes a couple hits.
On the elevator, your hitbox where you swing is a little off from where you are when you're standing on the ground for whatever reason. I don't know why that is, but it is a little wonky to hit things when you're standing on an elevator.
Yeah. He's heading back through this room here.
Yeah, I think we have it down and left here.
Oh, nice save. Very, still taking out the not insignificant amount of magic. I've seen like 3 or 4 different I've seen like 3 copies of that elevator room, so I'm a little lost on where we're going. This looks familiar.
Yeah, this does all loop into itself here.
Maybe we have just seen that same elevator room like 4 times.
Yeah, so we have to go through this room, it looks like. Right? Oh,
I think so. That's a nice one up. Here's horse head for Chadbert. Oof, there's it. Well, good thing Vix just got that one up, because there's a death.
I think he's just going to ferry through this room here.
I think it's better than trying to bypass that check in the app. Ferry taking out about 3 bars of magic here, still at magic 6.
I mean, Chadbert is catching up here, but 2 is a hell of a palace, so I don't know. If Chadbert remembers,
was in there for a while.
Well, if Chadbert remembers where he went, which is probably unlikely, 30 plus minutes after he's been in there, so he could make up some time, but he's probably going to be covering a lot of the same tracks that he's already covered.
It is harder, because that's one of the risks of digging a palace early and being unable to clear it is, will you still remember where you went 40 minutes later? And understandably, the answer frequently is that you don't, as you get another one-up and a dead end for Vix.
Okay, I lied, so this is not the only way we had. There must be just one more left somewhere.
Gotta be, because this waffles and syrup room is not it.
You can't just walk that one tile gap there.
I was going to say, you can just do that, yeah.
Also should have a very cheap fire jump spell right now at magic 6.
Yeah, choosing to not cast it.
I mean, jump should honestly be castable as it is right now, but fire probably slightly cheaper than just straight up jump. Oh, what good luck on the Firebird there.
That's for sure. And back to 2 for Chadbert.
Good luck, Chadbert.
This is gonna be fun. Well, Chad's definition of fun. Not his definition of fun, probably. We're heading right through this elevator room again for Vix. sends us into here.
I honestly don't know what we have available. Unless we have... Oh, do we have a duplicate room? Is this room upstairs a duplicate room? I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, Vix is gonna first take a bit of that chicken.
It may be. I can't remember the generators in here. In the first time we saw one from the left, but I thought we saw heads. Maybe not.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
I don't remember. Alright, well, that's a very fast 2 this time for Chadbert.
Wow.
Really does remember something about where he was going the first time.
That is a slash clap right there, my man. Good. Wow. Impressive. This is, look at Chadbert catching up here, although Vix has some, Chadbert's going to have to God route this GP.
He is still going to be a good bit behind, but Vix has been going in circles here, so, getting another chicken to the face.
He's got to get Thunder as well. Vix
yeah,
really
he does.
I say Vix has only really seen maybe like 12 rooms, but he's seen them a few times now, which is why it feels like we've been in here longer. He walked in here just sub 77, so he's been in here about 11 minutes.
And he's taking a lot of chickens to the face, including this one. There we go.
Chadbert maybe have forgotten where the eastern cave is here. This is what Vix needs.
To be fair to whom, I don't remember either. And that's another chicken to the face. Okay, this fairy decided to just fairy past it. Yeah, I think Chadbert forgot the eastern connector cave. I don't remember where it is either, unfortunately. It's not that. Hey Tutor, welcome in! Thanks for the raid with a party of 2. We are an hour and a half into this race between Vix and Chadbert. That is another chicken to the face and a death for Vix. Vix is very, very lost in GP, as are we. Chadbert's forgotten where his eastern connector cave is here in DM. Okay, I think that elevator room looks safe. I don't remember if we actually took this right.
No,
we definitely didn't take
new.
this right because this curtain room is new.
Yeah, this is all new territory where we're at now.
Outside of GP, the big story of this seed is Chadbert spent too long in palaces. Everything was in the overworld, more or less.
Yeah, I want to say the cave to the east is somewhere closer to the north side of this DM. But Chadbert has lost. Again, Chadbert versus DM is not, it's not a kind.
Finally.
Chadbert has a bad record versus DM here. Yeah, if we want to talk about mapping DM islands and you forget where the cave connectors are to where you need to go, this is it right here.
Yeah. Alright, we are on T-Bird, but unfortunately Vix took a death. I believe this is his last life. Yep.
Wow, Chadbert was gonna have a fairly good chance to catch up here, but this missing the connector. If Vix game overs here, this is what Chadbert needs, but it's really what he needed to find east a whole lot sooner than he is currently finding it.
Yeah, he's losing at least a couple minutes here, and he does not look happy with himself. I don't blame him. I get it too, like, there's a lot- there we go,
Nice.
finally. I get it too, because there's a lot of caves in the Silence Death Mountain, but it's one of those things where he doesn't have the time to lose.
It's straight south from Death Valley. He's
Going in the wrong direction again, yeah.
Yeah. Again, the importance...
Maparando is not Chadbert's friend today, apparently.
Yeah, the importance of mapping is huge in certain biomes and layouts here.
Yeah, because islands and mountains are two of the hardest biomes. And we're seeing that on full display for poor Chadbert today. He is lost.
This is going to be Naburu.
Yeah.
And south is the water tile.
Yep.
Yeah, Dorinia was just directly south of the Death Valley entrance there.
Yep.
Well, last life, and Vix gets it down. He's going to get a jar here.
Yeah, use life here. You need to get your health back.
Darkling could be right here, or could be a few more rooms.
A few more rooms, apparently, because we've got one of these platforming rooms. Enemies look okay, but is queuing up Fairy just in case. Here's another blue chicken knight.
Enemies no longer look okay.
Yeah. Enemies were okay in the last room. They're definitely not in this room, given hi, blue chicken.
Yeah, there's
At
that
least
jump
this is
cast.
one where you can jump over it.
Oh, he's got a bird in the middle, though.
17 here at Magic 6, which is kind of expensive, honestly. That does get through.
Oh, easy mode here. Okay, nothing in this waffle. It's an elevator up. Could be Dark Link right here.
Yep. Yep, more rooms. Chadbert heading back north. Stop here to reset encounters. And
there it is. Wow, well, from Chadbert's angle, he was not necessarily that behind. But from our angle, he definitely was. But he definitely had a chance to catch up because he, as much time as he wasted in palaces early on, I mean, he cleared the 6 of them very, very quickly once he had the resources to do so.
Just into the resources.
And of course, not losing the Caves of the East and Darunia's location.
That would have helped, yeah. Ooh, and that lava bath doesn't help, as GG's to Vix here, with an official time of 1:33:56. GG's.
Looks like
and
Chadbert.
That is a prompt and immediate I quit for Chadbert. I get that. GG's.
Well, week 1 Swiss here. Vic's going to take the win. Chadbert going to take the loss. Swiss is just for seeding purposes. Everyone does make it into brackets, so no harm, no foul, really.
Yep. We will get Vixen after he takes a quick break, and then we'll see what he thought of the seed. Chadbert does need to go get dinner, so we will not get him in today, but good luck to him in the next round of Swiss.
Yes, so, man, Vix just clearing the overworld there was absolutely the answer in this one, and sometimes that is the way the seeds need to be played. With the fear is that you hit those glove blocks if you do early palace digs. The fear is that, first of all, attack effectiveness is not amazing, and if you're not a pro at combat, that really comes back to haunt you very quickly, and then you can hit glove blocks and whatnot, fairy blocks, things of that nature in palaces where you need the additional resources, because if the magic key was not as readily accessible in Hammer Cave as it was, and both of our runners thankfully did find that, that a very expensive fairy cast that we saw even at Magic 6 being 48 to cast was, you needed 96 magic at a minimum to be able to cast fairy twice. So things like that come back to hit you very hard if you make those gambles to jump into palaces early on in the game as opposed to just clearing the overworld. But sometimes everything's wide open in the palaces, and clearing them as you go is absolutely, without a doubt, the fastest way to do it. So it's hard to read that ahead of time, but if you want to play the safest, really, overworld clearing is going to be the safest way to go about things, and Vix definitely showed us today that that was how it was to be done. And you had that weird linear progression to all the way to the east, into Death Valley, into P6 Medicine to get Reflect, to get Child out of P4. Although, again, like you mentioned earlier, you could go into P4 to get Child ahead of time. Little weird to do that, but he was accessible, without Karak or anything like that. So still doable, but a little odd to double dip P4 when you don't have to.
Yep. All right, and we are getting Vix in here. GG's, Vix.
Hey, thank you, GG's.
So the overworld clearing is 100% what helped you in this one. You walked into GP just sub 77, and to put it into reference, Chadbert placed his first gem at 62 minutes into the seed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Chadbert spent a lot of time in palaces this seed. He um in early Divergence when you guys was you went south and east from start. He went south and west from start. So he got his boots pretty much near last location on the west. You got his
Oh
earlier
yeah.
certainly helped, and then he spent some time digging around one. He spent a bit of he got a lot. I think he had to do like a triple dip of three because he or something because there was that glove fairy block in the first room, so he couldn't. He looked once, left, came back once the raft, and came back a third time to clear it. He spent a ton of time in P2 early, and
Yeah,
just it
I can
didn't.
see that. Oh, sorry,
It
Star, go ahead.
was yeah. He just got thoroughly turned. He just spent a lot of time in palaces, and just he didn't have his ending key for the first couple palace digs. Ferry was stupid expensive the entire way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I thought it would come down at least a little bit at Magic 6. Apparently not.
No, 3 bars of magic still is pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking that other than just having the spell item hints, so it was, reflect medicine out of P6, and then you would go into P4 to get the child for thunder. Ultimately, there was that linear progression there. But other than that, there was nothing really in palaces that you needed. Everything was in the overworld. The glove, the boots. You did have the boots first. You did clear out the west a little bit quicker. There was a hint for P3 having the raft that was in Rudo, and you skipped by. It was in the first house that you walked by. You didn't go inside of the house. It was P3 raft. So we knew that from Chadbert's side, and you just happened to go into P3 after attempting P1, and there was the raft. You grabbed the raft, you got out of there, and the rest, you were just off to the races from there. And it took Chadbert quite a while to find the eastern connector on Death Mountain, and so that is also something that set him back a good bit. He lost at the end of it all. He did lose the location of Darunia as well. We thought he could actually make a comeback. He cleared his 6 palaces very, very quickly. And with all the trolling that you had going on there with the route in GP, we thought, man, if Chadbert actually makes it in this GP and kind of God routes this, he would just be like 2 rooms or so behind you. It could be. It could have been pretty close, and especially if you would have if he would have found Darunia. Okay, let me back up. He had to refine the connector to the east in Death Mountain. That cost him several minutes. He walked the wrong way in the east to go to Darunia. That cost him several minutes. So, assuming that wasn't the way that played out, if he walked directly off the west, right to the east, right to Darunia, right into GP, he would have been fairly close behind you, assuming he could God route that GP to the point where that area where Thunderbird was at. So, but I mean, that's kind of a big assumption, but it still could have swayed back in his favor if you took that, if he didn't have those mistakes, and if you took a game over on Thunderbird. It could have maybe changed positions at that point, but it was a steep hill to climb for Chadbert regardless there to catch up.
Yeah, I was panicking a little bit as soon as I saw that Darklink was not directly behind T-Bird. I'm like, I'm on my last life. I don't want to go through this loop again.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Real quick question: You walked into GP. Okay, I guess it's not that big of a deal. You came in with GP a little injured. You didn't up an A right away, and it felt like it cost you a little bit there, and you kind of wasted that first life right off the bat.
Yeah, I have that one track mind where like, okay, I have GP, I have enough health. Let's see how far we can get and start digging and kind of figure out a route as we're going in rather than the up A. And I don't know, it's just something that I've always done.
Okay.
Same with
Gotcha.
same with skipping the house hints. I'm not one to go into the houses and check the hints for that. I figure there aren't that many checks in the game. I'll eventually find what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, if
So,
you're going to clear the overworld like that, yeah, there's not too much. Like you say, you clear the overworld, you're done with all that stuff, and it's simply just going to palaces at that point. If you're still missing things, keep looking.
yeah, the overworld, just the way it flowed was really nicely finding that east, and like I was still really low leveled at that point. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find everything I can in the east. I know I found P5, I know P6 is in Death Valley. I know it's got what we need for Reflect. I'm just gonna see what I can find, go from there, and then get the medicine, and then just go clear the west. And go from there as soon as I found that glove.
Yeah, that's absolutely one of the safest ways to just play the seeds.
Yeah.
And this, as we called out, this was as everyone knows, a rematch from the Upstarts Championship there. So yeah, Chadbert he's still coming for you, but not today.
Hadley did not get his revenge on you, yeah.
Oh, there'll be many more matchups, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure, because this is far from over. This is only the Swiss round one. You are going to want to know here, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I'd say solidly played. There's the early boots again helped just kind of clear out west a little bit faster than Chadbert did, and then you did find the items on Maze Island pretty quickly, and then found the connection to the east. All of that was fairly straightforward from your perspective. Again, from Chadbert's perspective, taking a little bit of time to find the boots. Found the bridge instead of the cave to Maze Island, found the bridge to Maze Island, then saw the cave, and then realized that there was another cave in Death Mountain somewhere. I think he actually came back to the west to clear out one other cave before attempting to dig. I think it was 42 minutes before Chadbert found the east. So it was quite a
Sounds
bit of
about
time.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he went back to the west to look for one missing cave. He tried one like you did. It was glove blocked. He did spend a little bit of time in 3 post raft. Low attack effectiveness did hurt him. He did not make it to Rebo. He up and 8 out of there. And then again, he spent a chunk of time in P2 on Maze Island, which did not net him anything other than the cross, which was the item that was in there. But he never found the boss. And I don't remember if it was glove blocked or not, but he did up and 8 out of there eventually. But upon returning, he found Helmet Head incredibly quickly. So
yeah, I basically took every wrong term in 2, 4, 5 in GP, apparently. And somehow,
Felt like it, yeah.
even with pretty much full clearing P5, I still never found the item room for it.
You found it. It was on the elevators.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did. I recognized that, and I turned and went the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's just starting to run together in my head now.
But yeah, GG's. Again, solidly played there, and 1-0 moving forward into week 2.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you guys for getting this all set up and the calming and tracking. I hopefully can speak on behalf of Chadbert and say we really appreciate it, all the work that goes into stuff like this, and thank you guys again.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Got another one coming up in 45 minutes.
Yep. We'll be over on the CSR too. So for that, please to give both the runners a follow, VixRyder and Chadbert, to my co-Kamarai, and to our checker Jayla. Thanks all so much. Let's see, coming up on the ZSR schedule, as mentioned, we'll be over on ZSR2 in 5 minutes. We've got another match between Tiberius and Jay Coper. And once we did that, we'll probably go over and say hi to ZSR main here again, because we've got Majora's Mask Randomizer Season 4 match. So this is probably round 2 between Cindy and Mr. Mario here on this channel in 45 minutes. We also have tomorrow, we've got a Wind Waker Randomizer match. Noon Eastern, Season 6 Wind Waker Challenge Cup Winners Quarters. Shizuka versus Mazda Soup. That'll be game 1 in best of 3. We've got another pair of Z2R matches tomorrow as well. 7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Should both be on ZSR main here. That'll leave between Elendar and Pickle versus Pickles and Beer for the first one, and Goblin versus PKT Patrick. 7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, so we'll hope to see you all there, and then we've got more matches coming up throughout the week. Meantime, though, that is going to be it here for us tonight. Thanks for watching all, and we'll see you in a little bit.